Republicans get in November or January, will you be able to persuade the leadership to follow the point you just made about cutting taxes, cutting spending, and all that? Will they have the wherewithal to do those sorts of things? Is Boehner going to be the speaker?
Boehner will probably be the speaker. You know, Boehner is an interesting guy. He's a blue-collar guy, had, from his upbringing, businessman. He's a tough guy, but he is a true conservative. And I think his leadership has shown this year. He never offered an earmark in his life, in all 20 years he's been in Congress, never offered an earmark. Did it from day one when he got there. So I think there's some that might be better speakers, but there is a pecking order. Just accept it.
I know you can't speak for everybody that's going to be elected, but
But he will be a leader that will accept members saying, we've got to start showing our mettle. We have to show that we're willing not only to hold the line, but to cut. We got to be willing to show that we're willing to give the taxpayer more incentive, i.e. tax cuts and regulation. We're going to have to do what we say about business and support free enterprise and the person who's willing to take the risk, the entrepreneur, the business owner, in order to help the employee as well. And I think there's right now in the House Republican Conference, there's it's been for a good number of years now. It's called the Republican Study Committee. It's one of the caucuses. There are all sorts of caucuses in the House. The Republican Study Committee is a conservative caucus, and you have to meet certain, I call it doctrinal standards. You sign a statement of conservatism, and if you start violating those, the caucus has the right to ask you to leave. Not ask you, put you out. And of the 177 members of the House Republican Conference right now, almost 130 of them are members of the Republican Study Committee. And they're the guys like Eric Cantor and Michelle Bachmann, Doug Lamborn, and Peter Roscoe, Joe Wilson. And I think that nucleus, which is an overwhelming nucleus now, will give power to the speaker to say, yeah, we can cut, we can restructure, and we're going to do it. And those of them that have seniority, have been there a number of years, they got support from their districts to do it as well. And, I'll expect that I have support from my district too, from what I'm hearing out there.
What do you think about term limits for the federal legislature?
I'm not a fan of term limits at any level. I'm a fan of part-time legislature or part-time Congress, citizen legislators in Congress. I think we've seen that part-time legislature or a term-limited legislature here in Michigan has not been a panacea for anything significant. In fact, since we've had term-limited legislators in there, we've gone downwards. I think it's an easy way out for citizens being lazy. It's wonderful being a guy who's lost once. You can be much less politically correct. I can get on you folks too. I really do. I think we have at the ballot box the ability to limit it in term. Did it for me, 2 years and out. You know? So it can be done. I was in the legislature, served with Dominic Jacobetti, that served over 40 years from up in the UP, the Godfather. And he abused his power. But the people up in Negaunee and Marquette loved him because he got all the pork for them. But what's their economy up there now? And term limit him. He died in office, so didn't get the term limit that way. But I'm not sure that's the approach to take. I'd say we're going to fight for something. Let's fight for a part-time legislature, so we aren't one of the only 10 states in the union with a full-time legislative operation.
Should it?
And that doesn't say that part-time states necessarily do good either. But at least they have to live under the laws that they pass. The federal government, can we go back to a part-time Congress? I'd sure like to see it. part-time Supreme Court, that'd be great. It wasn't until, not all that far back in modern history that the Supreme Court met 2 months a year. That was it.